But now we're shifting focus to the Zakir Naik issue and the political war that's broken out over the same. Now, Naik's NGO is back in the spotlight. The Islamic Research Foundation confirmed that it made a donation of 50 lakhs to Sonia Gandhi's Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. The issue has now snowballed into a massive Congress versus BJP fight. Take a look at this detailed report, after which we'll have a panel to discuss this further.
The BJP and the Congress are crossing swords over televangelist Zakir Naik once again. The point of contention this time is the Congress returning a donation of 50 lakh rupees to Zakir Naik's Islamic Research Foundation. 2 months ago, when this 2012 video started circulating, it generated much controversy. Congress leader Digvijay Singh was seen hugging the man who was dubbed as a messenger of hate after his name made headlines for allegedly inspiring the Dhaka cafe terrorists, among others. Digvijay was targeted for lavishing praise on Zakir Naik. And now there is fresh controversy brewing over Congress's alleged links with the controversial televangelist. With Naik currently under the scanner of investigating agencies, the party returned the amount post-July this year. Armed with the Naik ammo, the BJP is already gunning for the Congress party and its president.
Is Rajiv Gandhi Foundation duly registered under the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act? If so, on what terms and conditions? Does it also include you will get money from outside and you will also get money from an NGO getting money from outside?
BJP has now upped the ante. It has not only alleged that the Congress party was in know of Dr. Naik's reality back in 2012 itself, but also questioned the unilateral decision of IRF to make the donation without any prior government permission in the first place, leaving both of them scrambling for answers. In Delhi, with Kulwant, I'm Anindya Banerjee for India Today.
All right, joining us on the broadcast now to discuss this in detail is Shazia Elmi of the BJP. We've also got Mr. Sanjay Jha of the Congress and Mr. Ilyas Sharafuddin, a representative of the Islamic Research Foundation. Mr. Sanjay Jha, if we can come to you first. The Congress is in the line of fire today. How do you respond to the allegations against your party?
I think it's very malicious and mischievous on the part of senior union cabinet minister of Mr. Modi's government to pretend that he is himself not aware of the basic facts that his government is supposed to know. Let me tell you that the government spokesperson today, somebody from the Ministry of Home Ministry, has categorically stated that the transactions or the funding that was made by the IRF to the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust, that's a correction, it's not the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, it's a Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust. Both the entities are registered under the FCRA Act and there is nothing illegal about it. So it's very obvious here that a government which has been a monumental disaster in handling a very sensitive Kashmir crisis is trying to divert attention from it.
But
and let me give you two relevant facts for the discussion that we're going to now have.
Okay.
Now let me just make two very pertinent
Go
points,
ahead.
and after that I'll take any of your questions. It's indeed intriguing that if they believe that Zakir Naik's IRF is an anti-national body or an anti-national NGO, this Modi government has allowed the funding to continue for the last 2.5 years. In fact, just a few weeks ago, they even renewed the license for foreign funding of the IRF. So this is political hypocrisy at its worst. And the fact is that when the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust discovered on the 1st of July, because, we all know what happened in the Dhaka terror attack, and Zakir Naik's, prominence came into the picture, the money was immediately returned back to IRF. So nothing has been violated here. This is a very brazen and an extremely repugnant attempt by the Modi government to divert attention from its failures on Kashmir and try and attack the Congress party on a matter on which it has got no foundation to argue.
Mr. Jha, just one quick point. The rebuttal that the BJP is given time and again is why wasn't that donation handed over earlier? And of course, we also saw a Congress representative come out and say that, look, we're not soothsayers, that we didn't know that the NGO someday or the other would also be probed for these irregularities. But having said that, this donation was done in 2011. At that time itself, Mr. Zakir Naik's foundation was under the scanner in other countries, not in India. Maybe it was banned in Britain, one of the countries, of course, I'm naming here. In 2012 also there was a clear report by the security which warned of Zakir Naik's foundation. Why wasn't the money immediately returned then?
Well, I'm glad you're asking me this question. Now let me give you some very, very detailed facts, no rhetoric. In 2008 and 2009, Zakir Naik applied to the UPA government for a license because that is the only way he could have broadcasted in India his Peace TV. We refused it. In 2011, he makes an unsolicited charitable contribution to the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust. Now let me tell you, in 2012, Manish Tiwari, who was an INB minister, rejected the license once again. So, all this allegation of quid pro quo is preposterous, is absurd to say the least. In 2011, if there was a quid pro quo, he should have got the license. It was rejected. And the reason behind the rejection was that his speeches were provocative. Now, you're asking me, why wasn't the money returned earlier? Let me answer that. You see, today, if you look at the speeches of political leaders from BJP, Giriraj Singh, Sakshi Maharaj, Yogi Adityanath, you listen to VHP leaders like Praveen Togadia, you hear Sadhvi, Prachi, you realize that all of them border on something inflammatory. But you cannot indict anybody until you have a full charge sheet and a conviction. Now, it was deemed dangerous, which is why, the Peace TV was not given a license. But until unless you have some solid corroborative proof, you can't really say that somebody is necessarily guilty and pronounced as an anti-national. Even today, after 3 months after the Dhaka attack, the BJP government has not even got a charge sheet against Zakir Naik.
Okay.
They haven't even been able to file an FIR against him. So to say that we were trying to, not really, trying to protect him is, I think, an extremely pathetic response by the BJP. I think they should act with greater political maturity.
Let's go across to Shazia Ilmi now. Ms. Shazia, how would you like to respond to Congress? They're saying that you're using this issue as a political tool to really divert from the issues that are prevalent in the country now.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to divert from this issue by talking about diversion. And I will not take that bait. And by using fancy adjectives that Sanjay Jha keeps doing, he will not at all allow those fancy adjectives to absolve Congress of the matter, which is of a very serious kind. Now, Zakir Naik was broadcasting. I have seen him on cable networks in Bombay for years and years to come. And now my question is a different one. My question is, what did Zakir Naik, who made inflammatory speeches, and I've heard them 6-7 years back on a Bombay cable and other networks when it was a UPA government and in power in the center, and in Bombay as well it was the Congress government. So there is no running away from that. But what did Zakir Naik find so exciting and wonderful and noble about Congress party that he wanted to give 50 lakh of rupees, which is a huge amount? And also, did Congress party ever care to find out about the donors, about Zakir Naik himself, the man, and what he propagates, and also the kind of funding he receives? What kind of money was he getting? Now that is scary. That a huge party, a big party, the grand old party of this country, ruling the country for not less than 10 years at the last go, and having ruled for the largest number of years in the country, also in power in the state where Zakir Naik heralds from, is accepting benignly and very sweetly, not raising an eyebrow, and being on such great terms that Zakir Naik feels obligated not to, and who takes funds from everybody, but feels the need to give funds of 50 lakhs to Congress party. He did not give this to any other government, any other party, but to Congress party.
Can I make a correction?
Really embarrassing.
Shazia Ilmi is not aware of the facts. This cannot be argued on rhetoric, Shazia.
Mr. Jha, we'll come back to you. Let Shazia finish her point. We'll come back to Mr. Jha. We'll give you a chance to speak.
You're talking absolute rubbish.
Mr. Jha, we'll come back to you. We'll give you your time. Let Ms. Shazia finish her point. Let her finish her point.
Harboring the wrong sort of people. Congress party has been harboring the wrong sort of people, people who are not just against other communities in the country. People like Zakir Naik are harmful to the society, but Muslim society too. So you're harboring
We know who you are protecting.
Okay, all right. Ms. Shazia, we'll come back to you. And Mr. Jha, I'm coming to you in a bit. Let me just quickly get a word from Mr. Sharafuddin as well, a representative of the Islamic Research Foundation. Mr. Sharafuddin, there has been a bit of confusion. I see you, of course, smiling as you watch this political debate, but also there's been a bit of confusion as far as the IRF stand is concerned. Has that money been refunded or has it not? And also an allegation that the BJP has put forward questioning if there's any sort of past relation between the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust, the members of that foundation and the IRF. What would you like to say about that particular point as well?
See, as the issue has been political now, it is being politicized. So let me speak in my individual capacity, as IRF don't want to get indulged in catfight between two political parties. First of all, IRF is so clean and non-controversial that just 2 weeks back, under the esteemed leadership of Narendra Modi ji and Home Minister Rajnath Singh ji, FCRA license was renewed of IRF just 2 weeks back. IRF was working since last 2.5 years under this NDA government, in a crystal clear manner, receiving funds and spending it. IRF worked under Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji and LK Advani ji for full 6 years under NDA government, receiving funds and spending funds on charities. IRF spent on every good cause. Let it be done by Congress, let it be done by BJP, let it be done by Aam Aadmi Party or anyone. If they are doing a good job, either Muslims or non-Muslims. IRF give scholarships of crores of rupees every year, even to the non-Muslim students also, for their higher education, to the Muslim poor students also. This makes it very clear that IRF is an organization working for the betterment of the Indian society.
Okay, but Mr. Sharafuddin, you haven't answered my question. Have you received the refund that the Congress is saying it's handed back to you in July? Have you received it or have you not? Because that is the point that many are arguing about at this point.
See, let me tell you one thing, 50 lakhs rupees is a very big deal for Shazia Ilmi, it seems. But to be very frank and honest, for any
it's a big deal for us, it's a big deal for us, Mr. Sharafuddin.
Who are spending billions in elections today, the matter whether IRF received the amount or not, we need to cross-examine with our chartered accountants and the respective authorities back home. But let me clear one thing, we don't want to indulge in any cat fight, we respect our constitution.
Okay, so you're going to remain ambiguous on that point. You're going to remain ambiguous and not give an answer per se. Mr. Jha, you're willing to give us an answer on that. Go ahead.
Let me answer you very quickly here.
Sure.
This is a statement made by Mr. Arif Malik, and the Arif Malik has confirmed, IRF spokesperson has confirmed, and I am quoting you the Hindustan Times article of just 2 hours ago. The IRF spokesperson said the money which had gone to the RGCT, which is the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust, was returned to the foundation sometime in July after the terror attack that happened in Dhaka. Now let me read to you the pertinent point. Shazia Ilmi, you are a responsible leader from what I know of you, but for you to say out here, make such a terrible omission, shall we say lapse.
All right, we seem to have lost that connection with Mr. Sanjay Jha. We'll get back to you. But Ms. Shazia Ilmi, at this point, we're also seeing the Islamic Research Foundation taking on your government rather strongly. And this is something that the Congress has been saying time and again, ever since these allegations came to light, that if your government indeed is serious on taking action against Zakir Naik, why hasn't it happened until now? And we all know about that goof-up that happened a couple of weeks back when the MHA had to sack a couple of officials who renewed the license for the Islamic Research Foundation.
Well, you admitted just now when you said it that the Home Ministry had to take action against the officials who renewed the license of this particular NGO or this particular body. The fact is that there is no vindictiveness at all, which is sometimes ascribed to our government as to why they're doing and they're being tough on NGOs. If indeed the organizations are running it well and there is transparency in the accounts that are being received, nobody will go against them. But the fact is that this organization did not pay or give a little amount or donation. They find 50 lakhs too less. Just imagine how rich they are, that they think they found only Congress worthy of being of this 50 lakh donation and no other party. That just shows the closeness and the symbiotic relationship between the two. I think it's very scary, and in the past, UPA government has indeed harbored these kind of people who seem to speak for Islam just to get and whip up their vote bank politics instead of realizing the danger they represent to the community itself. I find Zakir Naik and all his thoughts and many of his controversial statements, I have studied them. I think they're not just against the interests of India and Indians and non-Muslims, but also against Muslims, because the kind of people Indian citizen and Indian Muslims are, and the kind of statements that are made, they make it very, very difficult for secular ethos to continue in the country the way it is, the way India is. So I find it actually scary for the Muslim community, and I find Zakir Naik actually working against the interests of common, regular Indian Muslims. I find it a huge problem that such people were promoted, protected, harbored, nurtured and nourished by UPA government. That is a scary thought, because this does not only harm the interests of India and Indians and non-Muslims, but also Muslims, a large community. Imagine Indian Muslims and how many Muslims are there in India. Imagine it's third highest in the world, and we over Pakistan only by minor 0.1%, which means we're second largest almost after Indonesia. And for a leader like that, who calls himself an evangelist with a Salafi thought, he actually breeds hatred even against Shias, against other sects within Islam, is a very scary man to listen to.
Yes, let's get a point from Mr. Sharafuddin. Let's get a point, Ms. Shazia, also from Mr. Sharafuddin. You know, earlier when I had framed that question to you, Mr. Sharafuddin, you did speak about your NGO and the work it does. At this point, of course, we cannot go into detail into that because of the serious allegations that are not just in this country, but internationally against Zakir Naik as well as your organization. So I'm going to go back to the second part of the question that I put across to you earlier. What do you have to say about the allegation that your organization possibly had some sort of a past relationship with the UPA government and the founders, the members of the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust?
See, to be frank and honest, again I would like to clear that we have good relationship with every Muslim and non-Muslim of our country and the world. Because of that, Zakir Naik is most welcome in more than 150 countries of the world by the presidents and the kings over there. Coming to Shazia Ilmi's point that he is controversial and scary, you are not watching a horror movie, Shazia. Let me make it very clear. Zakir Naik says, like Satya Sai Baba or Shirdi Sai Baba, Sabka Malik Ek Hai, from Vedas, Bible, Gita, Quran. Is it scary for you? Zakir Naik says, do not kill the innocents.
He also says that Muslims should resort to terrorism. He also, along that line, Mr. Sharafuddin, says that Muslims should resort to terror.
Do some research. Your memory is weak, so do your knowledge of theology. Because Zakir Naik worked under
all the research, sir. I will tell you things. Zakir Naik thinks that stoning is all right. Zakir Naik thinks that men can have sex with female slaves. Zakir Naik thinks
at this point, I don't think the debate has now transgressed into what and what is not Mr. Zakir Naik. I'm going to leave it here. We've completely run out of time. Mr. Sharafuddin, Ms. Shazia Ilmi, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Thanks to Mr. Sanjay Jai as well. Unfortunately, we lost him midway through that debate there. There's really no question about the allegations against Zakir Naik, because that has been established simply by the kind of preaching that he's done on his shows. The question now is about that donation to the Rajiv Gandhi Charitable Trust. It's led to a massive political war, and we will continue getting you the latest on that story. Time now for us to slip into a short break. On the other side is our special show, Gadgets and Gizmos.